End of the day, how do you feel that Kanye West or Michael Jordan, um, majority of the people from that movie, The Best Man 2, are married to white women?
Oh man. I think black men just trying to get on, have some, stability. I hate to say that about black women because there's very successful, educated black women out there, but I think they want to skip over the extra effort to get one, hold one down, and maintain a family with her. It might seem a little easier. It looks a little easier to me. No black background history with the.
Notice how she says that black men are running away from a challenge and it looks a little bit easier to be in a relationship with a white woman. Um, as a guy who's interracially dated before various different races, yeah, I can tell you definitely is not easier. The difference of culture, the difference of, how people communicate, the stares that you get from people in public, it definitely is not easier. Okay. It definitely is not easier. It is a challenge in itself. However, once again, you have women thinking that because you're educated, that we should choose you. And these women don't understand that we as men don't have the same criteria as a mate as women do. It's a silly narrative that these women think that men and women are the same. No, we're not.
Family and baby daddy issues, but white girls got problems too, man. I mean, they're not singled out here, but they have, this tricking effect where they just don't mind. They don't mind. I call it a yes girl. They just say yes to everything with no challenge, no, background effort and
False. Once again, that's another stereotype that if you're dealing with a white girl, they're pushovers and docile. And what black women confuse a woman who's docile or being a pushover, they confuse that as a woman who is feminine and submissive. The reality is, it's not a situation where a white woman is just going to let you do whatever you want, especially when you're dealing with one of these higher tier Beckys. She's not going to let you just lounge on the couch and dirty it up while you're smoking your cigarellos and drinking your cheap vodka all day. No, no, you better bring something to the table. And the reality of the matter is that if you're dealing with a particular lower tier woman, it doesn't matter if she's white or black, who is okay with being a pushover, then they're gonna allow you to just do whatever you want to do. But the truth of the matter is, in regards to this whole narrative that when you're dealing with white women that they're easier and yes, and it's not a challenge, it's once again it's a false narrative. Remember, it's the same black woman that waits for Pookie and Ray Ray to come out of jail while she's sending him commissary money, and she's waiting for him to hold him down. When he comes back, he ain't working or doing nothing, drinking 40s and cigarello on the couch while she's working 2, 3 jobs, and he's playing NBA Live all day.
they just say yes to everything. And guys need a challenge, and they don't want to pursue black women because they know it's challenging. So that.
Look at this broad. Once again, talking about guys need a challenge. What man wants to come home and be challenged? Men want to be complimented, not challenged. What does that mean? Men want somebody who will compliment them, who will contribute to the household. We don't want to come home and you challenge us after we've been challenged by corporate America all day, after we've been challenged by random people all day, after we've been challenged by the police when we've been pulled over. We don't want to be challenged by our women. We want to be complimented. And by complimented, I don't mean like, hey, honey, you look beautiful today. By complimented, I mean we come home, the meal is set, you're set. We come home, you give us a kiss on the cheek, rub our back, and say, baby, how was your day? And though this whole thing that black men want to challenge, you damn right black men don't want to challenge. What are you, some sort of an animal? You're a woman. Be feminine, be submissive.
That's their fault, not ours. And I don't single out black men. I just look for them because it's so rare that do appreciate natural black beauty and education. So
once again, if I'm not mistaken, is she wearing some weave? Does she have the weave? here's the thing. Don't get me wrong. She's a Minnesota 10. But once again, women think that men look at the same criteria for a mate as they do. Men don't give a F about your education. Education is something that you obtain. It's not part of your personality or something that makes you feminine. Anybody can get an education. And a lot of women think that we men, we judge them on the same level that they judge us on. The truth of the matter is, a lot of men don't care about your education or how much money you make. How many men do you see on making YouTube videos talking about, I need a woman that is got this type of education or make X amount of money? Or how many men do you even see talk about, I need a woman that is this tall? If anything that men talk about is they want a woman who may be easy on the eyes and height to weight proportionate. And if we're talking about black men, we're even a lot more relaxed when it comes to our physical standards because we'll take thick women or women that are slightly overweight. White men don't play that shit. If you are over 130 pounds, a lot of white men might consider you fat, even if you are over a certain type of height. They don't play that shit. They're a lot more stricter on their standards. Where black men, we're a lot more relaxed. That's why you can see a buff black guy in the hood who's super duper rip or super diesel with a fat or chunky Chaniqua type, because a lot of black men are very relaxed. And this is also part of our problem because of the fact that we don't hold our women to a certain standards. And that's why the obesity rate for black females is at a record sky high level. But this whole narrative about, oh, black men, men, I'm looking for a natural, beautiful woman. When you got that weave on your head, and that men aren't looking for somebody who's educated. Once again, does education equal femininity? Does education equal you being a good spouse or good mother or equal a good girlfriend? Does education equal any of these things? No. Education simply means that you went to some liberal school, sucked a bunch of cocks, and know how to recite back chapters from a book that you read.
I don't know what that's about. It's really sad to say that we're all out here, beautiful, single, educated, smart, out here, just like, where's all the guys at? And
they're running away from your dumb ass. You see, this is something that the liberal woman does not understand, especially the liberal black woman. These women think that education makes them wifey material. She thinks that because she's a light-skinned bombshell, that men should be clamoring at her feet and that she should have her pick of any type of man that she wants. And I'm pretty sure that there are a lot of simps who will gladly oblige, or there are a lot of educated men who have shot their shot. But like most of these liberal women, they're not attracted to the educated men. Take example, the insecure character, I believe her name is Molly, who, has the chubby educated brother coming after her, but she still chooses to mess with a married man. Now, I know that shows an example, and it's not real life, but we've all seen this example of where you have an educated woman or a woman who's got it together, still dealing with married men or dealing with pretty boys. Okay, once again, education does not equal femininity. Education does not equal wifey material. Education is simply something, a piece of paper that means that you know how to recite books and you probably sucked a bunch of cocks at a liberal college.
There you go. They take it.
So to some degree, you feel that there is kind of a competition. I mean, living in Staten Island, New York, I heard there's like a huge population of Italian women.
Yeah.
And I heard the Italian women probably got like the biggest asses in the 5 boroughs.
They eat very good. They know how to cook and eat and everything. But I don't know, they got issues too. They got brothers and cousins and mob families and businesses, and they're very busy. I went to Catholic school 9 years of my life, and all of my other friends from school, white girls that I used to know, they're very successful. They're all married with kids right now. What's wrong with me though? We came from the same background, environment and stuff, but the difference is my skin color and who I date, who I choose to date. And
The difference is not your skin color. Notice how she's using the victim mentality that most liberal black people like to use. I'm a victim because of my skin color. You know, no. The reason why your friends from quote unquote your white friends quote unquote from your white hood are now successful and married is because they know how to pick a mate. They know the difference between picking a guy for fun and picking a mate. You see, while you were in college doing the whole liberal thing and getting your weave did, these women were vetting men for the future. And this is something that the liberal woman does not understand. She goes to college, has her fun, rides a couple different cocks, and doesn't realize that this is the time where she should be looking for a mate. Because a lot of us know that for most women, the wall is a real thing. Now, what is the wall? The wall is something that a woman hits where she's not as physically attractive anymore as in her prime. Most women are in their prime between the ages of 17 to 30. After 30, most women start to decline. Even if a woman is still beautiful after 30, um, in regards to having children, every year that she has a child after 30, it becomes riskier. So the truth of the matter is, it is the type of men that you're picking. Most liberal women, most of these black women are picking men for fun, men that look good. You know, they want the pretty boy thugs. They want the pretty boys. This is one of the reasons why you have a lot of angry women, especially these swirlers that like to go on different comment sections to troll, is because these women were able to get guys to have fun with them, to have these guys pipe them out, but these guys wouldn't commit to them. And that's why these women are bitter, making YouTube videos telling other black women how to swirl, because they weren't able to lock one of these pretty boys down. This is one of the reasons why you have women who are a bit older now, like Rebecca Pope, telling other black women and other women in general, hey, you should be looking for this type of guy. Don't make the mistakes that I did. Now, Rebecca Pope, she did get married, but she did ride the car carousel, admittedly. She did. Let's keep it real, brothers. And at the end of the day, women are very much aware of the wall. And the truth of the matter is, when you have a woman like this who's beautiful now, 5, 10 years from now, if she doesn't take heed, she's not going to get the same type of guys checking for her that she maybe has checking for her now. See, a lot of liberal black women don't know how to choose a husband. They know how to choose a pretty boy or somebody like that because they want to be seen. They want to be seen with a pretty guy on their arm who's a trophy. But they don't know how to select for a husband. A lot of these women don't know how to vet for a husband. And so what happens is when they, end up becoming a single mother, or they end up not becoming married, they become bitter. Somebody outside of her race who is a lot lower in her standards than she would have selected a black man. So, she picks a white guy that is 3 or 4 points below every criteria, but she'll let it go because he's white. Whereas she could have had a good brother with potential. But a lot of these women don't understand what that means. What does that mean, a good brother with potential? Well, my favorite story that I always refer to is the Barack Obama story, where when Barack came to the law firm, Michelle was the hotshot lawyer or attorney, and Barack was just a snot-nosed kid. But she saw potential in him after he won her over with his charisma and his wittiness. And fast forward, 18, 20 years later, Barack Obama became the president of the United States. And see, a lot of these women don't understand potential or how far a man can truly go because they don't look for that. They look for what I call a ready-made man. What's that? A man who has already got it all. And this is the problem with the liberal woman. It's part of the brainwashing that they get, that the guy should already have it all. Most men at the age of 20, 25, 30 don't have it all. Most men at the age of 20, 25, 30, 35 are still establishing themselves. For most men, they don't hit their stride until 35, 40. That's when most men start to bring it together financially, as well as, becoming their own in terms of their vernacular and charisma. But a lot of women don't understand that because they think that as soon as they leave college, that a ready-made man should be waiting for them who's got it going on with a six-figure job, 6'2", drives a fancy car, and has got an 8-inch strapping cock. And the reality is most of these women are looking for what the elder BGS says is a 8% or man, or 11% man, excuse me, 8 or 11%, one of the two, in that range. Forgive me, I don't have the exact number. I believe it's 11% man. While most of these women are chasing after the same man. Good luck finding him, cupcake.
My experience in the hood versus out of the hood, so I don't really know what that's about or where that's coming from.
That's probably the biggest question among the 10 billion black women in the United States. Accidentally done.
All right, so at the end of the day, these women have been brainwashed by the societal bullshit that they should have a man who's got it all, a man who's got everything going on. And most of these women are going after a 10% man or 11% man who just does not exist. And if he does exist, he has his pick of the litter. And a lot of these women think that they qualify. And a lot of these women think that they should get this top-notch dude. But once again, isn't it ironic that once these women realize they can't get that man and they hit the wall, they either settle for a non-black man who is way below the standards that they have set for themselves, or eventually they will settle for a black man, but there's some sort of a resentment or slight bitterness behind it. Now, I'm not saying Rebecca Pope, who a lot of you have been lamenting with praise, is one of these women, but the question is, when a lot of these women are in their prime, why aren't they selecting pastors or those type of brothers then? Why do they wait until they hit the wall? Something to think about. Anyway, these women, man, they're not going to wake up until, the apocalypse happens, because a lot of these women's standards are surreal. Women really don't understand that, if you vet for a man with potential, he might be the one. But instead, these women are like little children. They gravitate towards something that looks shiny and something superficial. That's why a lot of women are just like children, because they get, if you want to impress a woman, just hold something shiny in front of her face. In the hood, we call it ice. Anyway, it's Solomon Jones. Please subscribe, hit the like button. Follow me on Patreon. If you would have followed me on Patreon, you would have seen the uncensored version 2 days ago, and trust me, I went in. Also follow me on social media. Stay blessed, stay up, and remember, one love, one king, one life. Peace.
Dom DeMarco.